Inniswell Ministries International presents Midweek Message. Hi, family. Well, family, I heard a story online, and it was about a pastor and his family's group text got like put out there online. Now, it became a bigger story because one of the people that he was talking about was a gospel artist. Well, the family was talking. And so I'm torn on this one because as a leader, we have to be able to express ourselves or to blow off steam, right? Because sometimes people make you mad, and sometimes you need to express that amongst people you trust, like your family, your wife, whatever, your husband. You should be able to express that, get that, talk that out, right? And come back and be right. So there has to be a safe space for you. Like we're still human and people still make us mad. And it's not that we hate them or dislike them, but sometimes you got to blow off steam. Like sometimes you have to say, oh, they made me mad today. And so I think that it was wrong, whoever leaked that group chat. I think pastors have to take have to walk in their responsibility as shepherd. The Bible likens pastors to shepherds. And so a shepherd knows the sheep. And so as pastor, you should be acquainted with your flock. Pastors required to feed the sheep, and that is to feed them sound doctrine and to move them from milk, which they can get on their own, to meat, which is where they come to you for the meat. You are required to lead your flock, and that's leading by example. So, if by chance you're sleeping with all the women in the church, that's a bad example, and that's poor leadership. If you are exploiting the finances of the church, that's a poor example. So we have to lead by example. We can't just talk about holiness, right? We gotta, we have to walk. We can't just talk it. We have to walk it. That's what I wanted to say, right? We can't just talk about what the Bible says. We have to live that. Um, Pastors or shepherds are required to protect the sheep. And that's to protect them from those that are spilling false gospel, bad doctrine, but also like uh, predators, like the false prophets that will prophesy for you for like $500. You should never expose your people to someone like that. And gather the sheep. And so Jesus gave the parable of the shepherd, like who would leave the 99 to find the one lost sheep. And so if you have a family, that a lost family out there, like you are supposed to check your people out. You're supposed to reconcile them. You're supposed to get that one lost sheep. And so in some of the churches that I've been in, there have been sheepfold ministries where you're assigned a deacon, And those are good. Like Bible says, there'll be leaders of tens, leaders of hundreds, leaders of fifties, whatever, leaders of thousands. And so that's good to have the sheepfolds because that's somebody directly that the sheep can go to. But over all of that is pastor, and the pastor should still know his sheep and should still be ready to gather his sheep. Somebody's out sick, they should get somebody's in the hospital, they should get a visit. Okay, so that's on the pastor side. We got to tighten that up, pastors. On the sheep side, I heard an interview of one of this pastor's former members. And when I tell you, I could hear her pain, her anger, her frustration, her disappointment. She had such a bad situation, like her and her family, that she ended up walking away from her faith. She left Christianity. And so that tells me that the worship was not for God, but was for the man. And we cannot put our pastors here. That's idol. That when you put someone on a pedestal, they become an idol. And God does not tolerate us worshiping idols. Now, do our pastors deserve honor? Yes. But do we put them on pedestals? No, we do not. And so I believe that's what happened with her. She put the pastor and his family on pedestal and he came crashing down. But the point is that he should have never been up there in the first place. As sheep, we are required to work out our own salvation, our own soul salvation. That means we have to have our own relationship with God. We should not go to church and that be the only time we encounter God. Like church should not be the entirety of our faith. We should we're responsible to read our Bible, to have a prayer life, to fast when we need to we're required to work out our own soul salvation. That's not pastor can't do that for you. He or she can't stand with you on judgment day. That's your responsibility. And so if you're not getting what you need where you are, then you go and you find somewhere where you can. We should not be, we should not lose our faith because man messed up. That's not God, that's man. Like, realize the same people that are at your job, the same people that are in your clubs and organizations, the same people that are out in the world are in church. And we're here because and we're here and we mess up because we're human. So yeah, if it's not good where you are, then go somewhere else. You're not stuck there. Join us again next time when Inniswell Ministries International presents Midweek Message. Until then, bye.